Everyone is talking about large language models, but what's the secret sauce that makes them truly smart for your business? Today, we're going to dive into the unsung hero of the AI revolution, vector databases. Seriously, this is the critical tech that's been flying under the radar, and trust me, it's about to change everything. Let's get right into it. So, have you ever felt this? It's a question that's driving developers and business leaders absolutely bonkers. You've got this powerhouse AI, this billion-dollar model, but it's a total amnesiac when it comes to your own company's data. Why is that? Well, this simple, kind of maddening question is exactly what we're going to answer today. All right, so what's the deal? It all comes down to AI's biggest blind spot, and that's something called unstructured data. Even the most sophisticated models out there, they just hit a wall here. Understanding this limitation, well, that's the key to everything. I want you to imagine a large language model as a genius who just graduated from college. It can talk about history, science, literature. It has this bottomless well of knowledge from all over the internet. But ask it about your company's latest quarterly report, total blank stare. It has never, ever laid eyes on your internal reports, your support tickets, or your strategic plans. It is completely in the dark about your world. And get this, the most valuable information, the real juicy stuff, isn't sitting in these nice, neat databases. Nope, it's locked away in all these messy, unstructured formats. PDFs, customer support logs, meeting notes, a sea of emails, even diagrams. This stuff is the gold mine for building a truly useful AI. And until now, it's basically been a black box for machines. So the obvious question is, okay, why not just use a search bar? Control F, right? Well, that brings us to a major roadblock, the epic failure of old-school keyword search in this new AI world. Here is a perfect example of the problem. Picture this. A customer asks about your refund policy. Seems simple enough, but all of your internal documents only use the word cancellation. A traditional keyword search is just looking for that perfect word-for-word match. It comes up empty, and it gives you crickets, nothing. It completely misses what the user actually wants because it's so hung up on the exact word. And this right here is the key difference. On one hand, you've got keyword search. It's literal, it's fragile, and honestly, it's often kind of clueless. But on the other hand, you have the future, semantic search. It's not just about matching words. It's about understanding meaning, intent, and all the connections between ideas. It's smart, it's flexible, and it is the solution we have been waiting for. And this is where the magic happens. The breakthrough that changes the entire game is the vector database. It's what finally lets us search by meaning, not just by words. So the secret sauce here is this concept called embeddings. The easiest way to think of an embedding is like a unique numerical fingerprint for any piece of information. It takes these abstract ideas, words, sentences, whole paragraphs, and turns them into a set of numbers, which we call a vector. It's kind of like creating this massive multi-dimensional map where similar concepts like refund and cancellation end up being neighbors. They're located right next to each other. Okay, so how does this actually work in practice? Let's just walk through the workflow. First, you feed in all that messy, unstructured data, your PDFs, your notes, and you chop it up into smaller, manageable pieces. Next, you use an AI model to create these embeddings for each piece, basically translating their meaning into numbers. Then, you store and organize all these numerical fingerprints in a vector database. So now, when a user asks a question, you can instantly pinpoint and pull up the most relevant information just based on its meaning. Now, this ability to find relevant information on the fly is a total game changer, and it unlocks a seriously powerful technique. We are moving from an AI that's just guessing to one that delivers grounded, factual answers. This is the magic of RAG. This quote is fantastic because it just nails the entire value proposition in one sentence. We are leaving the era of AI hallucinations and all that guesswork behind, and we're entering a new age of reliable, source-based, grounded answers. This is what finally makes AI trustworthy for the real world. So what exactly is RAG? It stands for Retrieval-Augmented Generation. It sounds complicated, but it's a simple and brilliant idea. Before you ask an LLM a question, you first go and pull the most relevant information from your vector database, and you hand it to the LLM as context. It's basically like giving the AI an open book test, making absolutely sure its answers are accurate and informed by your specific data. And here's how that whole flow works. It's pretty straightforward. A user asks a question. Your system then does the semantic search in that vector database to find the most relevant info.
Then you bundle that context right into the prompt you give the LLM. And finally, the LLM uses that precise information to create a grounded, accurate, and super helpful answer. Simple as that. So let's bring it all together. What we're talking about here isn't just some neat trick or an optional feature. This is a foundational piece of the new AI infrastructure. It's what we call the semantic backbone. Let me be crystal clear here. If you are building a serious AI application today, this is not a choice. Moving from that fragile keyword search to an intelligent semantic search, all powered by vector databases, it is a non-negotiable, absolutely essential step. You know, in the end, this is the dividing line. On one side, you have a fun, creative AI toy. It's neat, but that's all it is. On the other side, powered by a semantic backbone, you have a reliable, scalable, production-ready AI application that can actually revolutionize your business. That is the power of a vector database.
So I'll just leave you with this to think about. What really becomes possible when our AI can finally, truly understand the meaning behind all of our collective knowledge? The future is just starting to unfold, and it's going to be incredible.